Hey guys, you're in a nutshell with me, Ina. Nako, big news. Especially for those na mga candidates sa express entry kung tawagin dito sa Canada. Ang affected dito, nako po, yung mga may lamia, aka yung may mga job offer na po dito sa Canada. Dati po, plus points yan. Literally plus points dahil bibigyan ka ng extra points dyan sa express entry. Nako, this big very important policy change is basically removing those points given to job offers. Naku po. Hi Lou, thank you so much for being here. Okay ka ba dyan? May tinitignan ka dyan.
May binabasa lang na pumasok na email. Ang daming mga
Ayan.
nagtatanong mga because of this change.
I know. And thank you so much, Lua. Nandyan ka agad for us to discuss this. Again, breaking news, 'di ba, sa mga nasa pool ng express entry. Sige nga, puntahan muna natin yung announcement. Ano ba yan? Okay. This was just uploaded this morning sa canada.ca. Rather updated, yung job offer tab pag nagpunta po kayo sa express entry. Teka, ang tagal ko. Eto na. Yan. Nakita nyo guys, sa pinakataas, we no longer give points for job offers. Actually, first line pa lang talagang very clear na. No? So as of March 25, 2025, removing job offer points from the CRS, yung Comprehensive Ranking System for current and future candidates sa express entry pool. Okay, so I think the points range from 50 points to 200 points, Lu,
Correct.
Oo. So, gaano ka-big deal ba ito, Lu? Bakit malaking balita ito? Bakit marami, I believe, maaapektuhan dito sa policy change na to?
Well, the numbers are not very clear. Hindi naman kasi dinidisclose ng IRCC yung breakdown ng candidates within the pool. Binibigay lang nila yung CRS and you get a sense of it actually if you go to their website and look at the most recent draws. Pinapakita nila yung score distribution essentially. Pero hindi nila sinasabi kung ilan doon ang may LMIA or valid job offer. And we need to clarify kasi most of our friends and your viewers malamang they're focused on the LMIA side of it. Hindi lang kasi LMIA ang may 50 points or 200 points. It's also those who are holding what's called a valid job offer. Ano ba yun? Usually, ito yung mga employer-specific work permits that are LMIA exempt. For example, those who speak French get what's called the Francophone Mobility Work Permit, and that exempts them from the LMIA requirement, the employer that is. Tapos yung person applying for a work permit, they do not need to submit the LMIA anymore. In lieu of that, they show their language test levels being equivalent of CLB 5, basically. So, may extra 50 points sila, diba? For that, just because they have that particular work permit. Or, if their job is Tier 00, yung highest NOC, essentially, na mga executive level, you get 200 points sometimes kasi. So, yun yung implication. Marami bang maapektuhan? Palagay ko oo. Kasi in the last year and a half, people have been very desperate in order to bump up their scores. Kasi nga, di ba, 2023 pa lang, alam natin yung cut-off scores for express entry, ang dugo. Nasa mga 500 lines of fives. Nakakaloka for a lot of our kababayans and for those who are in the pool. So, ang ginagawa nila, wait, teka, baka pwede akong LMIA and mag-a-apply yung employer nila ng dual LMIA, dual intent LMIA, I should say, na pwede silang makakuha ng 50 points nga or 200 depending on the case. Plus, on top of that, pwede din silang mag-extend ng kanilang work permit kung papaso na yung kanilang work permit, whether it's PGWP, OWP, or ano pa man, pwede silang mag-extend. Yun nga lang, nakita ng immigration since last year, and ang dami na nga nagre-report na because nagiging desperate ang mga tao, may mga unscrupulous individuals in the industry, unfortunately, whether sabihin na natin regulated consultants, lawyers, or sabihin natin lalo na yung pinag-usapan natin last time, yung ghost consultants, they will exploit this and they have been, and nakita na nga yung uptick in fraud na meron mga LMIAs for sale. Depending on where you're going, you see a price range of anywhere between 10,000 to 50,000. So
Oo.
far, ang pinakamalaking nakita ko is 450,000.
Oh, huy, grabe!
Grabe, di ba?
450,000 Canadian
400,
dollars?
yes.
Oh my God, totoo ba? Grabe, no? Sige, pag-usapan natin yan sa susunod.
Yes.
Wow! But anyway, that's thank you for pointing out, Luno. So, hindi lang pala ito sa mga may lamia. That's how wide ang, kumbaga, maapektuhan, yung range ng mga taong maapektuhan dito. Do you see that as, parang fair in a way? Kasi paano yung, let's say, yung mga may extra points pala or nagkaroon ng job offer because they learned French. O, yan, tulad ng sinabi
Yeah.
mo. Or
Well,
those na may tier 00 na category jobs. I don't know if
mawala yung
uso rin,
200.
uso rin ba ang fraud sa mga job offer doon?
Yes.
Yeah.
Let me give you some historical context. Actually,
Okay.
kaya nabanggit ko yung 200 kasi dati kasi merong isang program. Canada used to have business immigration kasi yung mga investor programs.
So,
In fact, Canada was one of the first few countries na nag-invento niyan, yung mga golden visas. Diretso kang permanent resident, di ba? Tapos, dahan-dahang nawala yung mga golden visas dahil nakita nga na prone sila to fraud. And on top of it, prone sila for abuse for people who are doing money laundering. So, paminsan yung sourcing ng funds, kailangan i-check din, di ba? Pero daming nakapasok using those particular means in Canada. So, right now, the closest thing that we have to an investor visa in Canada is yung startup visa. From my perspective, in our kababayan's case, napakababa. Nakita ko rin yung stats. Konting-konti yung nag-a-apply from the Manila Visa Office. That being said, right at around like 2017, 18, nakita yung upsurge ng growth for what's called yung owner-operator LMIA. Have you heard of this?
Not yet. Pero sige,
Okay.
tell me. I think I know the scheme. Sige.
So yung owner-operator LMIA is basically, bibigyan ka ng labor market impact assessment ng isang entity sa Canada na business basically kasi employed ka dapat, di ba? And you're being employed there because you're part owner. Kaya nga owner-operator,
Hindi
di
ko alam
ba?
pala yun. Okay.
So, halimbawa, bibili ka ng kasi indirect business visa siya, pero hindi siya for permanent residence. So, dati, papasok ka, bibili ka ng, let's say, convenience store sa Toronto. Ang halaga ng business na to is, let's say, $300,000. Tapos, meron ng history yung convenience store. It's been there for 10 years, right? So, dahil ikaw na yung shareholder na majority, you're basically going to employ yourself kasi ikaw yung mag-o-own at mag-o-operate na itong convenience store na ito. As a result, to come to Canada as a foreign national, you need a work permit. So, bibigyan ka ng LMIA, ang tawag dyan, owner/operator LMIA, papunta ka sa owner/operator work permit. Itong work permit na to plus the LMIA is equivalent to 200 points for your CRS. It used to be that, except noong 2021, the government realized na itong loophole na ito inaabuso, and the government took out the 200 points for owner-operator LMIAs, essentially. Yeah. So, hindi bago na nagtatanggalan ng puntos sa CRS for LMIA. Kung titignan nyo yung history nito, hanggang 2015 meron pa yan. Alam mo ba, noong 2015, ang daming mga Pilipinong nakinabang sa LMIA points. Alam mo ba kung ilang points ang isang LMIA noon? Nung nilaunch ang express entry? 600 points!
Wow!
Diba?
Wow,
Tumataging na 600 points. So, from that perspective, parang kailangan mo na lang ng pulso, di ba?
Kaya naman pala, kaya pala, no? Tama. It's the fraud. Many people taking advantage of it. At kahit ngayon na binawasan na pala over the years yung points given to Lamia, hindi pa rin nawala, kumbaga, yung fraud. So ngayon, wala. Tinanggal na talaga altogether. Okay. Can you tell us, Lou, how big of a deal? Let's say 50 points na lang. Yan, 50 points. Make or break ba yan for many candidates in express entry?
Absolutely. Kasi let's just look up, halimbawa, let's take the example of a typical Filipino candidate in their mid-30s. Sabihin natin, naka-finish ng bachelor sa Pilipinas, merong more than 3 years work experience sa Pilipinas in a skilled job, pumunta ng Canada as a student, nag-aral, let's say sa Centennial for 2 years, nakakuha ng PGWP, nakabangko ng 1 taon ng trabaho sa Canada, let's say CLB 10 siya sa kanyang language. This person, would start off at 440s without the Canadian education and the Canadian work experience.
Okay.
Pero once na nakuha siya ng education niya, aakyat siya sa 470s. Kapag nakakuha siya ng work experience, aakyat siya sa lower 500s. 505, 510, ganun. So yun yung labanan. Nasa ng cutoff? 'Di ba? Ang cutoff ay nasa 530s paminsan up to 550s paminsan, depende kung gaano karami yung invitations, 'di ba? So yung 50 points na yun, ang laking bagay. Minsan nga 10 points lang, ang laki-laking bagay. Na yung 15 points kung meron kang sibling sa Canada who is a PR or citizen, napakalaking bagay kagad niya. So malaki ba ang impact nito? Yes. From the perspective of the candidates who are now going to see a massive decline of their points. But the other thing, yung pinag-usapan sa social media, Ina, napag-usapan na natin to dati, because ang daming mga candidates in the pools whose scores are going to go down, you will see a significant significant statistical drop of the points. So yung median points ng pool as a whole, bababa. What does that mean? If the number of invitations remains stable or if they increase it, makikita natin na yung cutoff score bababa.
Oh.
Meron din akong theory na susunod nito, subsidiary. Kasi before ma-excite yung mga kababayan natin, yes, bababa ito. I suspect for several weeks, for several months, it will stay. Pero madaming ma-excite. So gagawa sila bigla ng mga profile. So yung iba, magpupunta na sila sa Express Entry website. Yung mga na-dismaya, mga na-disenchant. Yung ako nang gumawa, bakit pa ako gagawa? Yung points ko, 490s lang. Maraki pa. Ngayon, pupunta na sila sa pool. So, ibig sabihin, dadami na naman yung candidates. Paano kung yung mga candidates na to ang taas ng human capital factors nila? Diba?
Ano ba yung human capital factors? Yung
age, language, experience.
Oh, I see. So, in that way, it's not all that bad. Kasi kung bababa din naman, yung cut-off scores, basically, what you're saying.
Ang makikinabang neto ng husto is yung mga candidates na medyo mataas na, I would call, let's say, nasa lower 500s, upper 400s sila. Tapos, hindi sila nagre-rely on an LMIA or those 50 points niya. Kasi yung score nila hindi gagalaw. Ang gagalaw, halimbawa, si Ina, ang score mo ngayon, 540, pero meron kang LMIA. So, babagsak ka ng 490, di ba? Versus ako, for example, 510. Gagalaw ba yung points ko? May LMIA ba ako? Wala. So, hindi gagalaw yung points ko. Tapos, ang cut-off sa draw next week, for example, hypothetical, 505. Captured ako, ikaw hindi.
Oo.
Ganun.
Actually, I think you're referring to mostly mga, let's say, nag-express entry profile na nasa Pilipinas pa, wala namang mga job offer, di ba? Sila, hindi gagalaw yung points nila, pero yung mga nandito sa Canada na may job offer, sila yung bababa. So, parang magbe-benefit nga naman sa
Correct.
mga ito.
Pero don't forget, dalawang bagay, meron din mga candidates na nandito sa Canada na hindi naman gagalaw ang score din. Dahil hindi naman sila naka-LMIA, halimbawa. Yung mga naka-PGWP, iniisip ko principally, for example. Pangalawang punto is kahit na gumalaw naman, kahit naman makinabang yung mga nasa labas ng Canada, tanungin din natin, how often has it been na nagja-general draw si IRCC? Hindi na masyado eh. Kadalasan, yung pinaka-general draw ngayon these days is the Canadian Experience Class, di ba? Go back to the levels plan from fourth quarter of last year. Sabi nila, we want to focus on in-Canada draws. Diba?
I see.
So, yeah.
So, Lu, I'm sure, marami sa mga sinabi mo nga, no, this morning pa lang, I think you already received hundreds of emails. By the way, bago ko na naman makalimutan, teka ha, i-plug nga natin itong firm ni Lu. Dahil, alam ko, meron kang ongoing promo. Yan, okay. Si Lu is with LJD Law. Yan, based po yan sa Toronto. O, tignan nyo ha, may 1 week pa kayo guys. May 1 week pa kayo to avail of discounted consultations kay Lu. Okay, until March 31st, 2025. Puntahan nyo na lang po ang kanyang Facebook page. Ayan, sabi ko na, munti ko na naman makalimutan.
Clarification lang dyan actually kasi up to 31st of March yung promo. April. It's okay. Kahit na hindi sa March yung consultation, basta yung booking is done by the 31st of March, you're good.
Okay. O yan na guys, puntahan nyo na lang siya dyan sa kanyang website. Okay, nasa na ba tayo? Okay, yung sinasabi ko, no? I'm sure many now are asking, Lou, bumaba yung score ko. I don't think I will make it to sa cut-off score. And I'm only depending on this pathway.
Mhm.
Anong ina-advise mo sa kanila? Ano ba? Do they get a visitor record? Yung mga marami nag-a-advise ng halimbawa. What do you tell them?
Two things. Nasa na sila sa work permit nila, pa-expire na ba? Kasi kung pa-expire na, yes, kailangan na nilang tignan yung contingencies kung paano sila
Yeah.
makakapag-extend ng stay into Canada. And that still requires an LMIA. So while you don't get points for LMIA for express entry, baka kailangan mo pa rin ng LMIA. So don't shut it out of your system completely. Not just yet. Kasi tandaan din natin, Ina, this is a temporary policy. Malinaw naman dun sa announcement, diba? Sabi nila, yes, we're not giving you points. This is a temporary policy to tamp down on fraud. Classic IRCC, instead of actually addressing enforcement, isususpend ng program. Hindi na to bago sa kanila, unfortunately. Pangalawang punto is score optimization. Baka naman, ikaw, Ina, for example, let's take your example ulit. Bumaba ka sa 490s. Teka, Ina, nasan ba yung CELPIP mo? Ano bang score mo? 8s? Oh, may room pa for improvement. Kaya pa yan ng 10. Tinanong ko nga may consultation ako just before this one. Tinanong ko, nasan ba yung score nyo? Oh, the 8s, 9s, ganyan. Oh, that's really good. How much time did you do to prepare? Sabi, nag-prepare kami ng siguro mga ilang araw, 1 week before. I'm like, oh gosh, like, that's good on the one hand kasi konting preparation lang, ito yung score nyo. Pangalawa, paano kung nag-prepare kayo ng isang buwan at kalahati, di ba? Na nag-practice test, nag-take ng course, nag-hire ng tutor. Kasi, ito sinasabi ko sa clients ko, usually kasi, yung mga test na to, hindi naman talaga siya measure ng iyong capacity to speak and express yourself in English. Kadalasan, ang daming dinadaga during the test itself, di ba? I personally am a very bad test taker, to be honest with you. Pero, yun nga, with practice comes perfection, di ba? So, makailang practice test ka, mag-prepare ka talaga sa test, ma-optimize pa yung score mo. Baka makakuha ka ng lines of 9 and 10. Paano kung CLB 10 yan? Baka yung points mo from 410, 450, di ba? 490, pinag-usapan natin kanina. Aakit pa yun to 500 plus.
Di ba? O sige, maliban sa English test, ano pa ang pwede nilang i-improve on? Baka pwede nilang aralin or what to boost their scores?
Bigyan kita ng scenario. Madami kasi mga kababayan natin stuck din sa scenario na to. Graduate ako ng high school sa Dubai, for example. Tapos pumunta ako sa Canada direkta. Hindi ako nag-university or college sa Pilipinas. So wala akong bachelor's. Tapos wala rin akong foreign work experience kasi diretso, di ba, from high school sinala ako kagad sa college. Let's say sa Centennial ulit. So, natapos ko yung 2-year program ko sa Centennial. Tapos sa Canada lang yung work experience ko, skilled work experience. Ano yung isa pang elementong nawawala sa kanyang profile? By foreign work experience. So halimbawa, itong candidate na to, let's call her Ina. 3 years na siyang nagtatrabaho sa Canada. Papaso na next week yung PGWP niya. Tapos nag-consult siya sa akin. Sabi ko kay Ina, wait, so ibig mo sabihin wala ka palang foreign work experience? Meron kang 3 years sa Canada, tapos CLB 10s ka, ito lang yung score mo, let's say, kulang pa rin, pero gusto mo mag-improve? Aba, ang option mo dito siguro baka kailangan mong umalis ng Canada at magtrabaho in a skilled position outside Canada.
Really?
Baka pwede kang bumalik ng Dubai for 1 year. Tignan mo yung bulusok ng points mo after 1 year. It's not the end of
a little bit,
journey.
big decision yun to take.
It's a big decision, pero kasi kung mauubos na talaga yung PGWP mo, tapos wala ka namang LMI, ano pang gagawin mo? Alam mo naman mag-TNT ka dito, diba? Hindi naman tama yun.
Diba? Ako, alam mo, Lou, I truly believe there are applicants out there. Kasi syempre, again, you can do all your express entry profiles by yourselves, DIY.
Yes.
But I know that some, hindi nila na ma-maximize yung points nila because of, they are, hindi lang talaga nila, akala nila they did it well, which is good also, no? Pasok naman yan, tatanggapin naman yan ng IRCC. Pero ito, hindi to alam ni Lou, nasasabihin ko. At I will not name my friends. By coincidence, alam niyo ba, meron akong kaibigan mag-asawa. Si Lou ang kinuha nila. Coincidentally lang talaga to, I swear. Matagal na po silang nakatenga sa pool ng express entry. Okay, but hindi po sila madraw-draw. Then they consulted with Lou. And then they told me, grabe, dapat pala matagal lang mas mataas pa yung scores nila. Ano, I don't know what you did to their profile just to adjust yung that is truly reflective rin naman of their experience and their backgrounds. Basta tumaas daw ng husto yung kanilang points. That, again, just to stress the point na there may be room talaga to adjust your ranking dyan sa CRS.
It's points optimization eh. Tama ka rin, Ina, kasi sobrang, even the most seasoned practitioners in immigration, hindi lahat nakatuon ng pansit sa express entry kasi ang daming nuances. Halimbawa, ang unang tanong sa akin parati, kailangan ko na bang kunin yung work experience letters ko from my employers from the Philippines and Dubai? Sabi ko, wait, teka lang. Ito bang mga work experience mo from the Philippines, relevant ba siya? So parang sayang lang yung effort mo na kukuha ka ng letter from your employer from 19 kopong-kopong na wala naman palang silbi for points, di ba? So, may mga ganong bagay, tapos nakafocus yung attention mo ngayon, yung energy mo sa pag-optimize ng mga ibang bagay. Sayang eh.
Yeah. Oo. Well, ayan na. Check nyo na lang, guys. You can do it yourself, research, or you can, of course, seek professional assistance katulad ng kay Lou, no? Siguro, isa na lang yung naisip ko din, Lou. Ako, in a way, I'm happy the government is going after fraud. But then, on the other hand, I know there are people who didn't pay for their Lamias. Really did everything right.
Meron din, oo.
Pero ngayon damay sila, 'di ba? Alam mo 'yun?
Agreed.
Yeah. What do you say to those na ma-affected dito? Meron pa ba silang ibang option, Lou? Or wala, talagang score max, optimization lang talaga?
Optimization at this point, or other programs. Hindi lang naman express entry ang nag-exist sa ating immigration ecosystem. So pwede din naman nilang tignan kung saan sila qualified pati. The more time they give themselves to prepare, the better it is for them. So at the soonest possibility, if they need help, my office is always welcome for that. Punto ko kanina, Ina, yun nga yung sinasabi yung dinadaing mo. Dinadaing ko rin at dinadaing din ng maraming immigration lawyers kasi ang dami din talaga na legitimate naman yung points nila dahil legitimate yung kanilang LMIA. May tendency kasi itong si IRCC, sa totoo lang, na pagka may problema yung program, instead of doing enforcement properly, na may sampulan sila ng mga, mga bad actors, tapos ipako sila sa krus, di ba? Hindi ang gagawin nila siya shutdown nila yung program. Parang
Oo nga. Ang actually, the punishment is more on the applicants rather than the employers and
yung
the
favorite
consultants,
expression ng CBC host ng Power and Politics, ano yun? Throwing the baby along with the bath water. Parang ganun. Yan yata expression in English. Ako naman yung favorite kong expression is using a hammer to kill a fly. Diba? Parang sumobra.
Sobra.
Ang daming basag nun, diba?
But anyway, wala tayong magagawa. This is the decision of Canada. By the way, sa Friday, guys, meron akong live episode Q&A about this topic if you want to answer questions. Not with Lou, pero sa isa rin pong sa mga suki natin dito sa In a Nutshell with Dayanara in Puerto Bantigue. She said yes already. That's on Friday, March 28.
Oh my God, tapos na March.
Kaya nga, ang bilis. Ano ba yan? March 28, 7 p.m. EST. Okay? So, if you have more questions, baka hindi po namin natakal dilo dito sa episode na ito, manood po kayo ng live on Friday night. You can ask there for free. Ayun, maka-free consultation din kayo kay Dayanara. At Lou, ikaw sunod sa mga live ko.
Sige. No problem.
Okay, so that's it, guys. We will end this episode here. As always, thank you so much, Lou, for being here. And yeah, sige guys, I'll see you guys in the next episode. Bye!